guys, welcome back. Joe here again, scalefreak.com. I got Pumba.
What up?
I got Dave. And they're back again. We haven't seen these guys in a bit, but you know every time they show up, it always winds up being a good... Well, I guess they always wind up being a good show. But it's always a treat to get these guys on here, too. And, I mean, honestly, for these guys to get on camera is probably even harder than I do. You have how many kids now?
Three.
Three. And the recent ones were twins.
Yeah.
And you've got your new one.
Yeah, new one and a 16-year-old.
So, yeah, and I mean, you're... Okay, how old are your twins again? They're only a little bit older than mine.
They're 15, 16 months.
Okay, so, yeah, so 3 months older than Bear.
Yep.
A year. Just turned a year.
Yeah, so you're a month past Bear. So you're actually 2 months older than Bear, 1 month past Bear, and I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that stage where we never get to leave the house.
No.
I can imagine your wife is like, hey, I'd like to go to work today, honey. No, we
Actually,
have
we're
twins.
both working full time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full time.
Oh my God.
Same
Yeah.
here. It makes things a little
Yeah,
tough sometimes.
52 hours a week. My wife works 44 hours a week. We get life is busy.
Yeah.
Wow. See, maybe I go to work for, I actually calculated today, I do about 67 hours a week.
Yeah.
So that my wife doesn't have to work.
I wish. My wife will not take that for an answer.
Well, you know what? I'm a very analytical guy. I'm a very numbers-based guy. So when it actually came down to the idea that will my wife go back to work after mat leave? Now, for all you Americans out there, we have this thing in Canada called maternity leave, where after the baby is born, the mother doesn't have to go to work for 1 year. And the government pays her for it.
Yeah.
Not like in the States where you've got 15 minutes, your shift is just about to start. Get in there. So basically, that's kind of one of those reasons why our 25% tax goes to healthcare. But you know what? She did the math. It was funny enough, and she literally did like an Excel spreadsheet.
It costs you more money than
and she calculated out to be $127 more per month for her to go back to work. On top of her paycheck. So I was like,
but that's just hard. It was good
sense.
health benefits and stuff that I don't have through my job. So
Good point.
between the two of us, and she likes it. It keeps her busy.
Yeah, and I said the
Believe
same
me,
thing to
man,
Tosh.
home life is insane. Work is a break.
Yeah. What? Customers, tire machines?
That's
I'll
right.
take it. I'll take it
We
all.
went private with childcare to save on the money, but it's still not inexpensive.
And that's, you know what, I didn't know you guys had to both do that, so man, I feel you. And I enjoy it. I use my 1 a week, guys. I always share this with you, so grab a Coke and enjoy. All right, so guys, welcome back. I do want to point out a couple neat things here today. First of all, there's 20 questions in here tonight, and I'm going to say that the majority of them are from 3 or 4 different people, and then there's just a bunch of one-offs in there. There have been some phenomenal questions coming in from around the world, so thank you guys. I'm actually really impressed with the caliber of questions that people have been asking lately, and that's phenomenal. There were a handful of questions that weren't really meant for a group setting, and I'm going to answer those ones directly one-on-one just to kind of give you my thought on it, but they weren't really set for a panel. So I'll get you an email back shortly, work a lot, and then we'll go from there. Of course, other questions and stuff like that, don't be afraid to head over to the Scale Freak Facebook page, because there's always people asking questions on there. And when I checked today, there was like almost 2,800 people on the group that are more than willing to answer your questions.
Absolutely.
So as always, if you're going to send your questions to us, it's benchquestions@gmail.com, and just a question that's kind of for a panel, for a bunch of guys. And I'll do my best to make sure your question shows up on a show where we've got the people for it. Like, for example, I know there's a question about drifting in here. I know nothing about drifting. I did drifting for about 35 seconds. These guys are the Drift Kings, so I hope that question comes out tonight while they're here. Because if we get this question with Antler and Taylor on the show, we're both going to go, next.
And I'm going to be at home watching and going, God, that was my question.
Phone a friend. Hey, what's your answer, bro? And you know what? We might even do that.
I was going to say.
So, speaking of the drift stuff, I want to show you guys this. Now, you guys have noticed my actual YouTube channel's name is DVLSTANG, which is Devil Stang, which is the license plate that I was going to get for my Mustang years and years ago. I may have mentioned in the past that this YouTube channel originally was supposed to be videos for my Mustang, and that's how old this is, because I don't even know if you guys have known me with a Mustang.
No, you had a Cavalier when I met you.
So my Mustang was long gone by then. I did have another Mustang after that, but it was so modified I couldn't get insurance, so it just sat in this garage making me cry.
That's a shame.
I had an 88 Detch, and the only parts on that thing were stock were maybe the front fenders.
Oh no.
You pop the hood, and it looked like a jewelry store with all the chrome and all the entities in there. then the guy I sold it to basically said it's the tightest Mustang he ever drove.
Really?
I only got to drive it a handful of times, and every time it scared the shit out of me. 410 gears with the transmission that was in that thing, and the amount of power that it had. You had to fight it to drive it straight.
No way.
It was
right.
yeah.
All Mustangs are
right.
squirrely. That's what makes it fun to drive.
Yeah, and I miss it. I will one day. I will either get myself another 87. I love my 87 Mustangs, especially 87 being the year before the real smog control, so it never needs an E-test.
That's it.
I will
lots of fun modifying.
I will get myself a 2000 GT, which is a car that's always had a really, really great spot in my heart for a reason I have absolutely no idea. Or I want to get myself an 03, 04 Mach 1.
That would be pretty sweet.
Now, a lot of people say, get the Terminator. Yeah, cool. That supercharger costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
and it's really, really neat. And it's independent rear suspension, which would be fun. But I'll get myself a Mach 1 because I can get one of those for about 10 grand less.
Mustang just isn't appropriate to me.
Solid.
The new one is killing it.
I know.
The new independent Mustang, the 2016, has already beat the Porsche on the ring.
I know. But it takes away from what it is.
Wow. Yeah, but you're right. Mustangs were meant to be, and I've always said this when it comes to American cars, American muscle versus like European refined vehicles.
Yep.
If you're performing surgery, you're using a European car, you're using a scalpel, you're using precision instruments.
Absolutely.
If you're using an American car, you're using a sledgehammer. It's like, what? Appendix? Whack! 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 And come on, I just went to the Toronto Auto Show, and the Germans have these friggin' AMG machines that are amazing.
They
BMW, the new M3. You pop the hood, and you're like, this is like literally the Mona Lisa. When you pop the hood, it's a work of art.
Yep.
Then you go over to Dodge, and it's a 707 horsepower. You've got the Viper going, yeah, bro. Come at me, Then next to it, you've got the Hellcat going. Okay, you think I'm a 6-cylinder, but
you think
I'm missing a headlight for a reason.
Yeah.
And then next to it is the family sedan Charger, where you're like, what's this thing gonna do? And then you notice that little Hellcat on the side of it. The guy pops the hood and goes, it's 707 horsepower.
Yep.
And then the new Mustang, the new Mustang, the GT350R is carbon fiber rims.
I know.
No air conditioning, no radio.
Carbon brakes in it too.
Oh. Yeah. And then the new GT. Okay, the new GT steps it up with actual surgical precision.
It's crazy, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
I saw it in person and I went, like, I didn't like that car before I saw it.
I'm on the fence about the EcoBoost with it though.
Oh, it's gonna be a demon.
The GT40 though is like a refined Ferrari of muscle cars back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna be sick though. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be sweet, but
as an EcoBoost owner, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and it's right behind your head.
Oh,
and we couldn't get in the GT because what you see on the GT, and you guys won't see it, but I'll draw you the picture. This is your cockpit.
There's a cockpit.
These are the front tires. These are the back tires. This here is open. There's nothing there. It goes all the way from the front to the back. So the back of the cockpit, if we tried to sit, if you and I tried to sit in the car, we'd both be leaning out sideways because our shoulders would be touching. There's no room inside for two people to sit. You got to be really fucking skinny to be in that car.
Wow.
Or have no friends. Sorry, wife, you can't come with me.
You can follow me in the Hellcat Charger.
Exactly.
And then I guess it would just be a grocery getter because you can only fit your groceries.
And it can't be a lot of them.
Well,
like you could maybe fit like some
a case of beer and a bag of chips.
Case of beer.
That's sometimes all you need.
Right?
or just strap it to the wing. Maybe that'll help. But the neat thing about it is that the motor is directly behind your head. So if you rev that sucker, much like you said Ferrari, you hear it right there. And it's like angels with a trumpet in your ear. But the new Raptor, blown.
Oh yeah.
Mind is blown. I'm looking at it and I'm like,
Ford really stepped it up.
I need $75,000 now. And then
the new
of course,
front ends and stuff are really nice on them too.
The technology they have in it now, because they've put bigger, beefier tires. It actually has a front camera now, so that when you're running in low range, it can show you your approach angle and everything.
Yeah.
Actually had that for a couple of years, but even the tail lights have built-in sensors So if you're backing up against something and it's in the taillights.
Yeah, and you know exactly where everything is at all times.
Actually,
I was reading that BMW has
it, but
funny enough,
cool.
I was watching a thing the other day, and they were doing this company that was going to be doing a modified Raptor bought it, and they said, let's do the comparison of the aluminum repair versus the steel repair. The guy bought the truck, pulled it in the shop, took a sledgehammer, and gave one smack on the back of the truck.
Yeah?
I think it was something like 3 times the amount of money to fix that truck than its previous steel model. And but one of them, because each taillight is $800, and there's no repair; it's just flat replacement. $800 for the housing because it's got the sensor inside of it.
Yeah.
Whereas because I almost bought a set for my F-150 because mine had chrome, I wanted the black.
Yeah.
They're only $250 a housing.
Yeah.
And then these ones are $800.
Chrome.
Yeah. So.
That's why.
That's one
but
thing.
BMW has this crazy technology in all their new SUVs. Like, there is cameras up here that you can't see, and when you're driving in and around stuff, and I thought it would be wicked for trail vehicles.
It shows you everything on the side.
Everything.
Yep.
Like as if it's sitting above you with a helicopter. And it's so neat, the technology, how they do it. And they need to put that stuff in the new Jeeps and stuff when you're off-road and stuff. It'd be amazing.
The new Jeeps, I've been doing a lot of research. There was a threat last year that the Jeeps may have to lose their solid axle. Because what happens is in order to beat all the restrictions that are coming out of the vehicles, they needed to go on a major diet.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the idea that they may have had to put independent front in it.
That'd be terrible.
But they managed to keep it. They're going to be, from what I've been reading, aluminum bodies.
Yeah.
They're going to...
so they're going to corrode like their door hinges do.
in some cases, they're going to lose the spare tire.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then they're going to make
they're
a
going
lot
to
of...
give you Fix-A-Flat to put in there instead.
Yeah, there's a kit. Your rear bead locks anyway. But it's going to be pretty interesting. And I've been... My guys at work, you know, I sell Hondas for a living, but the guys at work know that I'm completely addicted to Jeeps. They know that because they watch my YouTube and all I talk about are Jeeps. And the guy said to me today, he said, you've been doing such a great job. He says, I understand. He says, when it's time, I will find you a Jeep. And I said, you know what? I said, I've been doing the research because I have, you know, do I get a Wrangler or do I get a Rubicon? And all of the research suggests, because I'm not actually rock crawling, I don't have rock fields, skip the Ruby. Go right for the Wrangler. Because they say that when you buy the Ruby, you got to spend a shit ton of money to replace a bunch of parts to make it ready for off-road.
Yeah.
Whereas when you buy the Wrangler, the only thing you're missing, and again, I'm just reading one or two articles, is a massive low speed four-wheel drive. So you've got your four-wheel drive, and you've got a really reduced four-wheel drive, whereas the Wrangler has a four-wheel drive and a reduced four-wheel drive.
Yep.
The Ruby is made to really reduce it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So
essentially, like we were talking about before, you can get out and just walk beside.
You could get out. Well, yeah. It's neat enough, and again, this is, I guess, not back to RC at all. What is this for?
We're on an RC show.
Yeah. So I was watching the other day, and I actually got to this video off of the RC4W website, which, as we've talked in the past, I visit that thing every fucking day, looking for new parts to spend all my damn money on.
Yeah.
and basically the Marlin crawlers. So you'll notice all the TF2 add-on bumpers and stuff like that are all branded as Marlin crawlers now. So I went searching around, and I found a Marlin crawlers channel, and the actual truck that they've modeled all of their stuff after. The guy put a gear reduction transfer case onto a gear reduction transfer case so that he can literally get out of the truck and let it idle through a rock field, and he can be his own spotter. He just runs up and adjusts the wheel, and he's giving you a lesson on how to get over the rocks while his truck is just slowly crawling over the rocks
doing its thing
all by itself.
Just to think about how that would have to be crammed in there to actually make it work. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But and actually have like the full vehicle like have a spot to sit. You know what I mean? Because of where it all has to be.
Yeah. And that was the same with, like I mentioned, the Ultimate 4-Wheel Drive video too, when they did the Ultimate Tacoma. He did the same thing. He put a gear reduction on the gear reduction, and when he put himself in super low gear, he could bounce it off the red limiter with his big supercharged motor, and he's pretty much just kind of still hanging out. But the guy's got a torque for days.
Yeah.
So it's like, go ahead, I'll climb vertically if I have to. So the point when I was talking about the drifting is Dave brought this little badass here, because I remember I kind of got off the track with the Mustang. Now this here, for anybody who is well known with the Mustang world, is a Saleen S281. This is one of my, I think it's on my top 10 list of dream cars. You guys saw this body a long time ago that I was going to build this thing up like the Tim the Toolman Taylor, the home improvement machine.
The worst deco kit I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad.
and future has it that Dave ended up with the shell, and this is on his MST rear-wheel drive drifter, and this thing is, my God, when he put this thing in here, I actually got excited at the idea, and it makes me want to build a chassis like this, even though I can't drift for shit. I still want to build something like this just to hang this body on, because again, I am a Mustang guy, I bleed blue, and Mustangs are my car, and I would love to just have this.
And it's your color.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Yeah, it's Devil Stang Red. I absolutely love this thing. And then today, Pumba brought us this big beast here. This is, so you can't tell from the camera, but we figured there's 3 or 4 different colors in this one color.
Yeah. I'll just give it a couple.
Yeah, maybe you might get some of the shade up there.
Moving.
Looks like a big gray truck to me.
Look at
Yeah. Well, you know, it happens. It is based in silver, so.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat because I'm looking at some neat touches on here. Rampage bumper on the front. Of course, it's the F250 shell. And then I'm looking at your shocks. They look like G-made piggybacks.
Yep.
But you've got a smaller spring and only on the bottom.
Yeah.
Which is super neat to look at.
Which is actually the top spring of the stock shock.
Uh-huh.
Except for I went out and bought the super hard, so they're actually 9-pound springs.
Uh-huh.
And it makes my truck ride like a real truck does.
Yeah.
When you get into
Lots of droop.
Yeah, and when you get into things, it actually does a little bit of a hop, which helps you out sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so much.
And you know what? I think what I might do is I might pick your brain on that a little bit, because I have a set of these shocks.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy with them because typically when you have the full spring on it, it's too much.
It's on steroids. You can't get it to settle down.
Do you have the 103s?
I don't remember.
Because I have the 93s in my truck, and they don't do what the 103s did to his truck. His truck stood like a huge monster truck with the 103s with the springs in it. Like that's how high it would actually sit.
Yeah.
As where my 93s never did that.
I think
mine had a softer spring than his.
I think mine may be the 93s because I remember when Andrew bought the aeration shocks, he got the longer ones. So
See,
I'm
that's
pretty
what we
sure
did. He bought the longer ones, I bought the shorter ones.
Yeah.
But I know with my with the ones that I have, again, the spring was just too stiff, and even on the furthest down preload,
It wouldn't. It's still too much.
and when I was out in
I find there's tricks to putting them together too.
out in the rock beds and stuff like that, I found that with the piggybacks, they were just, the truck was always doing this because they were so rigid, but then I switched to the Kings and now the truck stays stable and my axle moves.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
This now that's
It
what
stays
happens.
extremely
with this,
stable
but,
like this
like,
7
I've got
PS.
enough articulation to do what I need to do. It's just that now it doesn't. It doesn't what? How do you laugh at?
Look at the articulation.
Oh yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
No, it's an inside joke. I just had to do it.
Oh, yeah.
The articulation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's classic.
I didn't even watch the channel, but that was funny.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's like exactly like the Captain Ron and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this truck does look phenomenal, and I love the fact that you've taken out the back cage because that's the same sort of thing that I'm going to be doing with the F-bomb.
They need to come up with a box to match the 250 like they did with the Ram.
Yes,
that would
and I
be
do
really
agree with
nice.
that. I would love to see. There's actually a couple things I'd love to see right now. One, I'd love to see a box for this rig.
Yep.
I would also like to see a Bronco for the Ascender. Because I really like the Blazer, and my wife saw the Blazer, and she's like, "That's a nice truck."
Yeah,
she goes, "I wish there was a," and we both went Bronco. She's like, "Yes, an old school Bronco."
Yeah,
I would buy that truck, and I would like take money. You know, like, I'll take it. Be like, "It's the shittiest truck in the world." It's a Bronco.
It's a Bronco.
Like, I don't understand why Proline doesn't actually do the classic Ford versus Chevy. You know, like every time you see that classic Chevy pickup truck, you're like, oh, you know what? It would be great to see that scaling with another Ford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's your classic
There's
versus
not
Chevy.
of counterparts, and I don't think they did a nice job on the Dodge at all.
I'm
I
just
think
wondering.
it's
No.
I'm wondering if
The
half the
Dodge
time
is-
Power wagon.
The Dodge to me looks a little toy car-ish.
It really does.
You know what I
The
mean?
red
Like,
on
doesn't
it
have
is
the,
terrible.
Doesn't have the scale look like the Jeep does,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah, the
even
Jeeps
the Ford.
are beautiful. They give you these nice, clean Jeeps right out of the thing, and here's this plastic-looking Dodge. It's like,
Yeah, like when I
you guys
got
dropped
the
ball.
body, I felt really bad
And
that I had to
ripsaws,
cut
like-
that whole front bumper off this thing. Like,
Off this?
Mine
yeah,
too.
the front bumper.
Yeah.
It's so nice. They did a really good job, and you're like, man,
I know mine. I get it. It's like that's a $90 custom painted shell, and I'm like,
You didn't even think twice going through that with the scissors.
He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, chopping it off.
I feel like I'm still using
I got steel to go there, man.
Yeah. But I love that bumper, and that's the same one I still have on F-Bomb.
The body style too, because
I know everybody has that bumper, but
it's because it's damn good.
Yeah, I used it for the first time after I put it on there, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
Like, because I was running my own custom stinger in the front, and I thought that was really good. I made it kind of narrow. It was a little out farther, but it was okay. This thing, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like butter going over
approach
anything.
angles are awesome.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I mean, you can get some shackles on there, and they're not too low that
Actually,
they
I'm just going to cut those off.
Oh, yeah?
They
get stuck.
I left the shackles on mine mostly because I wanted the danglies.
Like if you're doing mostly trail, but we play a lot in rocks.
Yeah.
We like the rocks. Like we'll go down the wood end in that one area. We'll spend 2-3 hours in there just doing different sections over again.
And sometimes on a steep angle, that little bit restricts just what you need to touch on the rock to go.
I guess on the front of this too, I mean, you don't necessarily have to have the rings because you could just wrap the cable around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like mine, I'm doing a hidden winch behind it, so I just have the plate here on the back. So technically they can be really useful, and but they just get hung up because they're steel. As where if it's plastic, sometimes plastic slides a little bit better.
Yeah, steel. Now, I'll tell you, I did the hidden winch on mine.
I can tell by the laugh it didn't
Do you have that bumper?
Yeah.
It is solid steel.
Yeah.
You have the right tools to do it the first time.
No, actually, what I did was it's down there, but there's a plate from an old winch.
Yeah.
And I bolted it to the stock plate here, so using the rollers now. So I have the winch behind back here, so it actually pulls through the rollers.
So what I did with mine,
I seen yours. It looks good.
was because the actual truck would have it behind the bumper.
I wish we could get a close-up view of what we're talking about.
Well, you could see videos for all of these trucks.
Touche.
But what I did on this one was I put it through the bumper because that's how the actual rig works.
No, I agree.
This, I thought, when I was looking at the bumper, I thought, oh, this just looks like a couple pieces of steel that are pressed together.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I started into it. It's solid. If you look in there, that's probably about 6 or 7 broken bits of Steve's Dremel. And it was an absolute mess trying to get it in there.
However, the only thing I will say is, like, I used a winch plate up in here, so it sticks out just as flat as the bumper itself. And when we went out and we were playing, I bent the living snot out of it. So I don't know how practical that setup is, but it looks good.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm back.
You good?
All right. Hopping later.
Let's
answer some questions.
I was like, I got 20 questions in here. We got a full show, and it's probably like 20 minutes in.
But we all haven't seen each other in a while, so we got a lot of
It has been a bit, yeah. There have been more stickers put on the bucket. I actually went through my sticker book, and I was like, holy shit.
Axial.
Yeah, Axial, Pull Pal, I put Band, I've got Scale Freak, I threw on GCM Racing.
Gotta have one of those.
I had these made for these Gators Towing Service stickers made for someone a while ago, but the sticker was wrong because one was supposed to be one way and one the other.
Oh.
They were all the same way, so I was like, whatever.
Didn't work out.
And of course, Recon.
Yep.
Love it. All right. Admiring the bucket. What else did I put on here?
Stuff.
Anyway, whatever.
You can get lost in the stickers. There's depth to them. There is a lot of depth to the stickers, man.
And you can see where we've come from and where we've gone.
Exactly.
It's like Proline was on there, and Max Amps was on there, and eventually just
back when that stuff mattered.
There's Traxxas on here.
Yeah. That's old school. That's where it all started.
That is where it all started. All right, so first question here. This is actually a pretty good one, too. So this is from Braden Rain from Saskatchewan. He says, when buying an RTR, do you run it as is right out of the box for a while, or do you instantly upgrade knowing what will be a bad part? Bubba?
I just run it right out of the box. Like the SCX-10, when I bought it right out of the box, RTR, I probably ran it for like 3 months.
No, you didn't. You came home with a body.
Oh yeah, but that was a body, right?
Yeah, that's where it started, though, right?
Yeah, it's always where it starts. But I mean, like, I drove that thing for a while before I started upgrading. But once I upgraded, one thing, 2 things.
The snowball effect.
Yeah.
And like, it's amazing. But yeah, no, I run whenever I buy a new rig, RTR, I always just run them until I break them.
Yeah, he's not.
And then whatever I break, I overkill on how good it does, and it breaks other shit. And then then it's another snowball effect, and it's just like, all right,
yeah, make it rain.
What's up, baby?
You love to be the hobby shop that gets the catch.
Yeah, exactly. And they're dancing on the pole if they have to. How about you?
Oh, hello, Mr. Mercer. Me, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I usually research a lot of my stuff before I get it. and then I'll kind of buy like the small upgrades that they suggest right off the hop. Like when I picked up the D3, there was some belt issues and stuff. I immediately bought that stuff with the chassis to kind of get some hassles out of the way. This one, no. This one I ran until the steering wipers literally turned into butter one night because they got so hot they just fell apart. So then I started upgrading all in one day.
I'm done. Okay, so
it was.
Well, I'm here and I have a cart, and well, I mean, I'm gonna put my number in once. I might as well just get everything.
Plus,
at
the
once.
hobby shop you get it at, it's an hour and a half away, so you don't want to be cruising out there to get your next brake part. So it's like, let's just do it all at once.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we run them a little bit and then slowly upgrade the parts you need. But I'm always the guy that comes in with a couple extra things.
Yeah, I found them. They were in the bag.
But there's this part, and it just does this, and look how nice that is.
I haven't seen this thing in ever. It's coming home.
Yeah. You're like, oh my god, it's actually here.
Yeah.
For me, you know what? Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Depends on the kit.
Yeah, like when I got Honcho originally, which is now F-Bomb, I ran that thing for quite a long time before I did anything to it. And I actually still have the stock electronics sitting over there that I only replaced because I really wanted to upgrade a T-kit and somebody else needed to borrow my electronics for a bit.
For a while.
So,
right.
so I still have all that stuff. And actually, I still have every original part for Honcho laying around here somewhere. And now that I've got extra chassis and shit like that, because actually original Honcho chassis over there, there's not much left. Well, Honcho's a gone name, so F-Bomb is a new rig anyway. But
Right.
I ran Honcho for a long time. Bone stock tires, bone stock foams, bone stock rims, everything. And I think the only part I ever broke on that before starting to upgrade was a C-hub. And then...
That's not bad.
I think
That
that's
is-
what my first brake part was too.
Yeah.
Because it was plastic, was a C-hub.
Yeah, and then I went, well, I'm doing the C-hubs. I might as well do the knuckles.
Yeah, you do the knuckles and the rear lockouts.
Yeah, I might as well do the lockouts. So Team STRC got us some orders, and then, you know, well, I might as well do the link kit.
I might as well.
Well, I might as well do, and then, and then...
Yeah.
It's
The nice
F-Bomb
part
now.
about crawlers, though, is there is a point where it slows you down because now those new upgrades are very expensive. You got all the cheap ones out of the way already.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's exactly it.
ooh,
Well, that's only
it's
15
time for
bucks. That's only,
axles.
yeah, that's only 40 bucks. That's only 30 bucks. Ooh, that one's 300.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
rims
but
are really that much. I always thought they were
with
cheaper.
crawlers, like even if you spend the $300 on whatever you're doing,
You get your money's worth.
you get your
if it
money's
lasts.
worth out of the longevity and the length.
And as long as you're not
you have it,
stupid
because
with
once
your
you have it built, you very rarely wear through things. Like my transmission gears are 3 years old. I took them apart when I put my new aluminum transmission together, and they're like the day I got them out of the pack.
You only ever broke one part, man, and that was a link dropping off the cliff.
Oh yeah, when
the G6, yeah.
That was. I thought that was somebody who fell down. I thought Tony fell down the cliff.
Yeah.
Turns out it was his
No,
rig.
it was my rig.
No,
yeah.
this is right. And all he broke was one like
And
that.
it was repaired on the trail.
Yeah,
On the
with
trail
the stock
and
plastic
completed.
link
Yeah.
and completed.
Yeah, everyone was like, "What the hell was that?" You see Dave running down, like running down to get the rig. That was a
I'm
fun
a
day.
trooper.
Yeah, that
I'll
was a
go.
good day.
Yeah, just like, oh, you're holding my beer. But you know, but yeah, exactly right. And I go through a bunch of different parts. Like I originally threw on Honcho. I originally threw on the RC4WD metal bumper, like back when there was just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the most piece of shit bumper I ever put on my truck.
Sticked out and
Yeah,
hooked on
it was
everything.
this far out. I mean, if you drove on the asphalt, you got stuck somehow. Then they came out with what was it? What was the next bumper I put on it? I don't remember. There was an intermediate bumper that I threw on, and then there was another bumper, and then I landed on the JK bumper, and I said, I like that one. I'm going to keep it.
That's
But the rear double tube bumper I've had since I bought the front bumper and the rear bumper at the same time. That's still on the rig because
Mine
I
too.
think that one fits perfect flush with the back. I see you've got that extra guard on the back.
Yeah, well,
That was from a different body
That's
style.
from Good Green
Spare
Bastard.
tire
the spare
man.
tire.
Yeah. Oh, you did have that on the
But
back.
I have the
Yeah.
double bar bumper on mine too. I've had it 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's so beat up
mine's,
and awesome.
Yeah, mine's bent. It's
I
a
like
little
it.
bent, and it's like, and that was because of the one day I was out at out Queenston Heights, and that truck was. I didn't think it was coming back, and I got to the bottom, and as soon as it rolled, it landed back on its feet again, and I went, "Oh my God!" Look, I thought for sure, right off, I was carrying it out, but
Yeah.
nope. Actually, the funny part was, it was that day that Antler, his truck. I think his drag brake was too high. He starts going down this, and then he let go of the throttle and just went, "Yep!" And then, and then that one didn't make it out.
Oh,
And he's just, we tried to do some field tech, but
It didn't.
The life support was.
The defibrillator was in the trunk of the car still.
Yeah, exactly. We lost it on push.
Dead, yeah.
But you know, and it's amazing once you do start to upgrade these rigs. Actually, two things, right? A non-upgraded rig is very sloppy and flimsy.
Yeah.
And holds up against a fall really nice.
Yeah, it does.
A really, really upgraded ring is extremely rigid and
when
tough.
You're solid. You just grab by the bumper and nothing moves.
And it holds up against the fall really nice. It's that in-between stage. Where some of the stuff is solid and some of the stuff is flimsy, shit can go wrong.
Yeah, but that's when you find your weakest link.
And you upgrade it.
Yeah, you just make it rain and it's upgraded. Yay!
Just hopefully it's not the first half of the day.
Yeah.
The second half,
that's
you're
the
good.
worst part is just breaking down on the trail and walking back to your car.
Yeah, that
sucks.
Well, we had it, and that was kind of neat thing about the G6 as well, is there were some people that did want to finish and broke late in the day, so we just hooked them and dragged them out.
Yep.
And that was like, okay, we out later, peace,
We're
bro. Like, we'll come back and get you, but we have to finish. Like, it is a timed event. Like, come on. So that, yeah. So all of us kind of, you upgrade sometimes. You run it till it breaks, and then it snowballs.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same with me.
Yeah.
I will run it for as long as I can. Knowing what I know now, there's a few things I might upgrade. Like I love immediately transmission gears. Because that is not something that's as easy to field strip.
However, they do last quite a long time. I ran mine for, I think, well, I got my truck used. It was 2 years old because it was an original honcho like yours. And then I had the truck for 2.5 years before I upgraded too. And I put it through the ringer trying to blow them.
But here's the question: what electronics did you have in it?
I was running a Novak 35 turn with a hobby wing on a 2-step.
With a hard drag brake?
Yeah.
Because I found where I broke my stuff, because the first, I guess, major, like the transmission gear.
I shouldn't say hard drag brake because I don't set them really hard.
It took a tumble. I leave my drag brake on really high.
Also, when it hit,
so when the wheels were getting jammed, because I lock my slipper all the way down.
Me too.
Yeah. So it transfers because I mean, you figure I've got the CVDs, I've got the hardened axles, I've got MIPs going into plastic gears.
Actually, I just finally upgraded my spur gear. Spur gear was 5-6 years old.
The spur gear is the one thing that I'm gonna leave plastic.
Yeah, mine's steel now, but
it's one nut and 3 screws to take it off and replace it. Yeah, I have 5 extra in my box just in case.
Yeah.
But same idea.
I'd rather have that as my breaking point.
I learned that from the Savage days, right? The Savage, you can upgrade everything, never upgrade the spur gear.
No. Even slashes were the same way.
Yeah, never upgrade the spur gear. Because the first thing is going to go.
The SCRC plate inside, and then you never go through the spur gear.
Ever again. I still to this day have like 30 spur gears.
Yeah, same here. I've been giving them to my nieces and nephews because they all have slashes too. Just here's another spur. Here.
Yeah, just put them on your finger, eat them, I don't care.
Whatever. They're really good as you flick them.
Alright, question.
Next question. No whammies. Next question is, alright, so this is from Victor. I'm not going to screw up your last name.
Hello, Victor. We're not going to screw up your last name.
It's Skogl, so Skoglund. Oh, God, I hope that's actually correct. YouTube channel, Victor Ian 10, so VIKTORIANTEN. And I did tell you guys if you put it in there, I'd give you a shout out. So shout out to the Crankulin and the RC Viking fans, and also to RC Crawling West Coast in South Sweden, which I believe he put as a little note saying we call it Denmark, I think he said. So this is actually a system I believe we've all used. What are the pros and cons of the Tiken RX8?
We're both out.
Yeah,
we're both too poor to own Tiken.
So you guys haven't had a Tiken RX8 at all?
No, everyone I know has.
Yeah, well, exactly. Okay, so let's see. To answer that question on my end, since I've owned many of them, some of the pros and cons. The pros, it's damn good.
Yeah, I heard the only con was it just doesn't like getting wet.
Yeah, it does not like getting wet.
That's the only thing I've ever heard bad about it.
The only thing, okay, there's 3 things that I don't like about the Tiken RX8. Number 1, it's huge.
Yeah, that's too.
But it is an 8 scale. It's meant to be huge because you're throwing in an 8 scale.
Yep.
Number 2, the fan always breaks.
Yeah,
and
that's on any system.
$10 each. No, but literally the Tikens are the worst.
Oh, really?
Like if you drop it on the ground, the fan blades break off.
Oh, that's not cool.
So the fan blades break off nonstop, and if you're running it in an 8 scale, you need the fan.
You need it. Oh,
if you're running it on a short course truck, you can probably get away without having it as long as it's geared correctly.
Depending on the length of the race, though.
Yeah. Well, that's true. How deep your battery gets.
Yeah.
And the third thing is the case it can be a little bit fragile. I actually one time when I was running the Jammin', I bottomed out and it hit, and actually the case just went
popped open.
It literally, because they're screws about an inch long.
Oh, so there's screws too, so you can't even put it back together?
There are 4 screws to put it together, like to put the case together, and they're super long, but they're super skinny.
So it strips it out?
So it hammered it and literally just stripped all 4 out, and the whole thing was laying there.
That sucks, especially when it's like, oh god, there's $200 in half.
Yeah.
I got $100 per hand and none of it's good.
Well, the good news was,
you know what the good news is? I just want a copy!
Oh, I totally wanted to win a copy, and I was trying to be polite, but now you're going to check, I'm going to check. Sorry, Joe, we're interrupting. Did I even get a Tim card? No. Damn it. Timmy's like Tim today. I bought you that coffee. It's mine.
You can split it, I guess. Yeah. Can I, instead of getting 1 large, can I get 2 smalls?
2 smalls, yeah.
No, you just get extra large and 2 small cups.
But so what I was going to say was the good news is that the Tekin, I wrote them. I said, I don't know, I flat landed and the case broke, and they said, yeah, no problem, bro. They sent me another one.
That's cool.
And yes, they don't like to get wet. Up in Muskoka, the 8th scale truggies took out the sprinkler system, flooded the track. My dumbass ran anyway.
I think I was one of the only waterproof trucks that time.
3 of us.
Back in the day, there was no waterproof.
It was 3 or 4 of us, I believe it was, drown. 3 of us drown our RX-8s in the one corner.
Yep.
2 of them came back to life.
2 of them.
One of them was not mine.
But got lucky.
But I will tell you, and again, there's going to be a range of comments below. Every Novak system I've ever used failed.
Novak.
Every Castle system I ever used failed.
The Novak system are awesome, and then they blow.
Yes.
It's like a nitro motor.
Jeff Butt had gotten the most out of a Novak I had ever
That
seen.
ballistic system was good.
It was amazing.
And
I've never seen a 4x4 go that high in the air before.
That was like a first production run ballistic. Yep. And then they did the build a motor thing, which is neat too.
Yeah.
But
cool.
And then every Castle system I ever used, actually, which was 1, supernovaed the motor, superheated the motor, and melted all the plastic it was connected to.
The funny part is that Castle builds so many systems for so many companies, but they've got it right for those guys. But their stuff itself always seems to take more of a shit kicking for some reason. Like, I've seen rebranded Castle and everything.
Yeah.
And it holds up. Like, what are you guys lacking in your own that you're giving to that guy? Stop selling it to him.
Yeah.
You know, because they always, like, look at my flex system that was in my TT.
Yeah.
I ran a living snot of that thing, 100K down the street, smoking all the hell, thought it was dead.
Not
for
dead.
Years, I drove the snot out of it like that.
The Castles in the 82. It's in the stock up.
That's an amazing ESC.
This thing is the bomb.
He was in his truck, he used it till he upgraded it, then I borrowed it, I ran the G6 and used it for 6 months. It's still sitting there, still works.
Yeah.
That's a good ESC.
I was actually going to use that. I was thinking about using it because I've got that 3R racing winch.
Yep.
And I don't have a winch controller for it. And one of the things that Parker had suggested is use a low-level brush ESC. He goes, then you actually get a speed control on it. I'm like, a Castle ESC hanging around.
That's right, you might as well.
And just bypass the power, put it into here,
you can even take it out of the casing and just plastic it and make it small.
Yep. Or leave it as it is in case someone needs to borrow it. That'll do it.
Right.
All right, so on to the next question here. This one's from Kyle Orr from New Brunswick in Canada, which is where, well, not New Brunswick, but we're in Canada.
Definitely not there.
So he says, I am new to the whole RC community. This is, I own an Axial SCX-10 deadbolt, and I was wondering what your guys' thoughts were on stuff that I should know about scaling, about my RC, or stuff that I should get for my RC tools, my upgrades, etc.
Well, if you're completely new to the hobby, that's like, does it say if he's completely new?
He just says I'm new to the whole RC community.
Tools.
Yeah.
Tools are a great thing to have, especially things when you're working with RCs with really tiny Allen heads on them. Tools are a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Don't stick to the multi-tools. The multi-tools are always lacking, but tools are a great thing to have. And good batteries, because good batteries can take you through multiple vehicles.
Yeah, that's true. I totally agree with Dave.
Don't spend all your money on your RC off the hop. Buy yourself a good charger, a couple good batteries, and maybe upgrade your remote. Then you can do anything in the RC hobby from there. Yeah. Because the kit itself is just the kit.
Yeah, get the essentials, servos or ESCs, all that good stuff. Do batteries.
He's got an SCX though. He's pretty well set.
Yeah,
I just recommend
that's it.
Nice high-tech X1
I would
charger.
Maybe recommend later on, if you don't like your truck being as fast as it is with the stock motor, put a 35 turn in it.
Screw with gearing.
Or
screw with gearing first.
But, who
it costs you no money. Screw with gearing, man. It's like $2
$3
thing.
Right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
These guys can't agree. I actually want to agree wholeheartedly with Dave. Tools, a good quality set of hand tools, changed my life. Because originally when I first started in RC, I was still using little Allen keys that came with it.
Oh god!
And nothing is slower and more of a pain in the ass than just trying to sit here and twist it with.
Sore and dried and cut up.
Especially the small ones, they always poke you or they end up in the fingernail. Go! You just you want to drop that.
Man, I got one of those black and just.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god! Every time I go, my arm feels better.
Yeah. And originally, I went and bought myself. This is back when I first opened my store. I went and bought myself a nice set of Proline tools, which I actually still have. Phenomenal, and that again made it easy, right? Especially because I didn't have power tools. The Proline tools actually had a T-handle set up, so you put it in and just spin the other end.
That's a nice thing too. I have a Traxxas one that came with the drag car, and it is the best Allen key ever just to have in your pocket.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would recommend good tools. There's no point in screwing with little Allen keys. They all wear out. They all break. They're all going to do it when you're at the race, ready to go. You break that one part, you run to the pits, and it's like, oh shoot, I'm stripping it. I've done it.
As far as this, actually, the first half of your question is, what kind of stuff should you know about RCing? Dude, just keep it fun as possible for as long as you possibly can.
Try not to spread yourself over many genres. It's expensive and you don't use them all. Just change your genres as you want to go on with it.
I have to say something, Joe. I've noticed that you have printed out all of your questions.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you.
Because you can read them down over your shoulder.
Because before, you ever tried reading a doctor's prescription? That's kind of like what Joe's writing is like.
It's
How
very
many contracts at work fall through because they can't understand your writing?
I've actually had the administration team a few times have
So
a talk with me.
Case in point,
And
right?
they literally, is there a cipher for us to be able to understand what you're writing on these messages? Because it is so bad. All right, there's two questions here.
The one really wanted to get it.
Yeah, which one? The one that fell, the one that stayed in my hand? Okay, this one?
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I'm going to we'll do that one next.
Sure.
All right, so this one here, I almost cut it in half. This one's from, it looks like Ramiro, what was that?
Castetta? No.
Love you, buddy. You're from Colombia.
That's awesome.
So he said, this is actually, so, and we've all raced. So, what advice can you give new RC drivers starting in the RC world? What are your top 5 suggestions or thoughts when you enter as a rookie driver at your local track? So, let's focus on the top 5 for rookie driver at your local track.
Finish the race.
Just be courteous. I find.
Hey man, this
Slow
aggression
down,
will not stand.
No, man.
It's a nice market.
Word.
The rug really brought the room together.
Rug makes you go fast.
Okay, so be courteous. There's one.
Yeah. I don't know. Dave next.
Yeah, Pumba was always the guy who was happy to be at the end of the pack. I finished the race. Man. I'm stoked. I'm here. We're good. To me, as a newcomer, because we were all newcomers, you gotta have common track courtesy. You want to always marshal
and if you don't know,
for
ask.
other people. Marshalling is huge. If you want people to flip you over, help them back out. Help people out in the pits. It makes friends in the community. Get it good with the track owner in the hobby shop, and then you got yourself a good setup of parts.
So he gave us one, and then he gave us a whole pile. But yeah, it's correct. So one of my favorite things that always was said to me when that a couple different things when I crash and then I have a bit of a rage fest is to finish first. You first must finish.
Yep.
So basically, if you this is just a reminder. If you crash your car,
don't just hammer the throttle hoping someone's going to flip you over.
You can never make that time up. The only thing you can do is run your own race. Don't put any more pressure on yourself. Just run your own race, and the times will just sort themselves out.
That's right.
Also, and this is kind of an extension of what they said, when someone faster is coming up behind you,
be courteous.
Move out of the way.
Yeah.
And I want to be very careful when I say move out of the way. A common mistake that I found a lot of newer people doing is they move out of the way, and then as the faster driver goes to pass, they hit them.
Yep.
And we've seen it a lot.
Don't try to move out of the way right before the corner.
Yeah.
There's no point of doing it there.
No,
do it during a straight, safe spot.
Yep. And what else is there? Don't pin it when the truck's upside down because the marshal's going to stare at it.
Yep. Especially if it's nitro.
yeah.
I'll go back over to my spot now.
Let that thing burn out.
The idea behind the whole turn marshal thing is absolutely correct. But as a former track owner, what I can tell you is one thing that I really loved when a new person showed up is if they offered to help the track.
Absolutely.
So, hey, do you want me to help you water? How can I help you fix that corner?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, instead of saying, hey, there's a hole over there, you say, where's the shovel? How do I do this?
After all, back in the day, that's how we changed our layouts. That's how we did it. We all came together as a group because not one person could do it on their own.
Yep.
Yep. And that's what made our community.
And when the other people at the track see you trying to help, they're more likely to accept you. Yeah. Otherwise, RC does see a lot of tourists. People who come in for a few months or for one season and then they're gone.
Yep.
And the vets will usually prey on their used stuff. So,
it's so
really
true.
what it comes down to is
remember
that one dude, bro?
This guy went nuts on drift gear.
Yeah.
I think we got it all for $100 after that. Man, it was disgusting, the box of stuff.
The guy, I swear to God, he probably dropped close to 700 bills.
Yeah, at least.
Not even close. I'm not even funny.
We didn't even do it on purpose.
No.
He just did it on his own and was just like, I really need to sell this stuff. Well, we got $100.
All right.
Oh God, we sold this stuff for more than we paid.
Filled the trunk of my car with just car parts and
wicked
stuff. Like it was just a rampage of everything. Just get rid of everything, be done with it.
Yep.
Yeah. But we made a crap ton of money off of it.
Yeah. We just sunk it right back into our own stuff. Every time we sold stuff, it was hobby shop, sold stuff, hobby shop. It was good.
Yeah.
Watch for vultures. That could be a good one.
We did not do it on purpose.
When you're feeling sick and tired, look to the sky and see if the birds are circling. When you see over there and someo's going, oh, what you got there?
If I've told you 3 or 4 times I like that a lot, I'm going to ask you for it. You're done with it.
You're going to eat that?
No, that's usually me.
Yeah, so turn marshalling is also a very, very important one. And as you said, don't be afraid to ask questions, right?
No.
It's better to be, and you're not an inconvenience, but it's better to feel like you're an inconvenience for a half a second than to crash somebody during a race or to not go your own. You have to run laps to get better, so always have your truck. Oh yeah, that's another one. I'm just going to make it up. Don't wait till the last second to fix your truck. It's too late.
It's too late.
You laugh at me, Steve. Get out of here. I am the king of other people having to fix my truck because I'm too busy doing something else. I've actually gone to RC Pro events where other people completely rebuilt my rig, mostly because I was pissed off that I just blew that motor.
Want to?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to be here. You can't make me. I'm only here for the camping.
For years, I just thought you were an RC driver. I've never ever seen you work on anything. I always just seen you racing it, doing pretty good.
Steve, Tony working on it.
The funny thing was his Antler is racing, well, he was going to be racing 5 classes in the Canadian On-Road Nationals coming up. Now he's going to race 4, but he was going to race 5 classes, and I said, okay, when are you going to have time to eat, piss, or take a dump, let alone fix your own cars? You're going to need a mechanic. And he goes, yeah, I am. Who should I get? And I went, Steve. He's the perfect mechanic. He works for cheap. You feed him pizza, and you let him run your cars around once in a while. And have him glue your tires because he is the pro at gluing tires. But there have been so many times where, because remember, and on a side note, I did run the track, or I was the either a race director or the media director for the series. So when my truck hit the desk, I had to go do some kind of upkeep or media, or I had to go report to something or fired an email. So literally, I would say, guys, I broke the front end off my truck, which I literally sheared the whole front end off my truck before. I don't know if I can make the next race. I run away to take care of some of my duties. I come back and they've polished it, they've shined it, it's bigger, it's stronger, we have the technology. And then everyone's sitting back eating cheeseburgers. And I'm like, what the hell? And literally, if you kind of, there have been times where I'm like, guys, I'm really, really busy. And I just walk around the corner and look to see if they're fixing my truck. And you get all the guys, everyone shows up with one part. One guy's taking the wheel off, one guy's taking the arm off,
Some guy started, but now he's on the track, so the other guy got curious.
Yeah, and everyone walks over, and it's not, where's Joe? It's, where's the truck? What do we have to fix? You know, and there were times, usually at night, that I would work on my own rig, or sleep.
Or sleep.
Or sleep. So, funny enough part is that the building and the fixing is my favorite part of the hobby.
but it's the part nobody ever sees you do.
That's because of the business part. I always had to.
You're so lucky you actually have a YouTube channel, because we see you turn a screwdriver every once in a while, but most of the time it's just the scene cut to complete.
And here it is.
Steve, so much job. High five.
Oh shit.
Well, you are right. You know, I actually, it was funny enough, when I did the videos before, like, a lot of people asked me to do a tire gluing video. And I will be the first to tell you that if I have to do a tire gluing video, it's going to be a video of me going, I don't know how to unstick my
voice
fingers.
over top of Steve's hand.
Well, actually, the video actually was, I stood behind the camera and I went, hey guys, we're going to do a tire gluing video. On to Steve. And Steve's like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. He did the whole video for me.
The buck, yeah,
I have
great.
no problem helping other people get seen on the internet.
That's it.
AKA, I don't have to do the work myself. Because if I were to do a tire gluing video, shit would get real. It'd be like, what was it, American Pie?
Oh, damn it! Oh.
Yeah, American Pie, where he's glued his hand to his dick in one hand and his hand to a VHS in the other, and be like, I don't know what to do. I've glued myself to myself.
Oh man.
Next question from Braden Rain in Saskatchewan again. He says, do you prefer online shopping? Would you rather go to your LCHS, or your LCHS, that was my high school, from your LHS to grab what you need? So, you guys, I know you make the odd trips to different stores and stuff.
We try to buy as local as we can, with saving money, and obviously trying not to travel long distances. Or rare parts. Rare parts I'll buy online, or things if I'm randomly searching on eBay and they're cheap. But I try to always support a local hobby shop, as long as they're a good hobby shop that deserves the business. Yeah. You know, support local is always better. But some stuff.
I always find when you go to a hobby shop, though, you always want to go in for like, okay, I need 2 or 3 things that you're dead set.
Man.
I know.
Dangerous.
You're dead set on these 2 or 3 things, but you get those 2 or 3 things plus this other couple of things, some tires, body paint. Well, you know.
Well, it took me an hour and a half to get here. Did you see they got like 300 bodies to choose from? Did you see those aluminum parts?
Oh
dude,
my
did you
God.
see the case? Like, dude, that was one of those 2. You know,
squirrel.
It's
shiny chrome. What?
Yeah, it's like you're looking for the part you need in the middle of everything
like,
else.
Pumba and I have been drifting for like 7 years now. We've never been to a store that has been drift specific. We went to Galaxy and it was just like, the guy pulled out totes bigger than you have, full of the sickest rims you'll ever see in your whole life, and you just want to go, like offsets you've never seen, colors, bodies, rare bodies I've never seen before. Yeah, run it.
Make it rain, baby.
An E30 thing I've never seen before in any hobby shop.
Yeah.
And I just stared at it all day.
Like, have you ever seen a Skyline wagon?
Dude, a Pandora Skyline wagon.
Oh,
Volvo wagon. Like,
clearly need to make a trip to Galaxy. Like, Derry's a good guy. I've met Derry a whole bunch of times.
Their selection and their prices, like, I bought that E30 for $35. I've never paid $35 for any brand new body, let alone a body I cannot find in any hobby store.
Yeah.
And these just,
Dude,
I'm sorry, I'm already flowing.
A set of 4 tires and rims for like
his selection, and he's got all the HPI, all the Traxxas, all the MST.
The Galaxy's been around for a long time.
Yeah, well,
and
MST rims, if you're a drifter and you want MST rims, you go to Galaxy.
So here's a question for you, because Steve and I was talking about, do they have, what did you need?
ML5 Pro, version 2 Pro.
Just message him on Facebook.
Yeah,
that's what I
told him
did.
too.
There's a bunch of MST parts on this car, and I new to an MST. My buddy Paul said, "Hey Dave, here's a car. You owe me $200." And then I got into it, so I didn't know anything about MST, and they're one of the only stores in the area that sell it. And actually, their prices were extremely affordable. And when I messaged him on Facebook, unlike many other places I've tried to get a hold of, he got back to me right away and was really polite, put everything aside. They're really nice people out there, and if they don't have it, just like any good hobby shop, they'll order it up, have it on Friday.
Yeah. And so same idea for me, right? So number one, in St. Catharines here where I live, we don't have any hobby shops that I would actually consider a hobby shop. We have one that is taking its final breaths, and we have one that doesn't want to be a hobby shop. They want to sell toy trains, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think they actually
they're a modelist shop.
Yeah, and I think they actually do what they can to keep the hobby people out
of it.
We walked in there and seen a $650 / 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I almost crapped my pants when I seen that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like, what's so different is made of gold?
Awesome Slash.
Like, the
custom one-off gold Tonka truck?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Is it one of those? No, it's just a Robbie Dakar edition with a really ugly blocky body.
Yeah.
Oh, you're crazy.
And the worst part is there's some kid out there who doesn't know any better who's probably bought a couple.
His parents actually spent the dough on it instead of just going down to a future shop and paying $300 and having a good day.
Exactly, and the parts are there too.
Exactly.
So most of my thing I'm going to have to travel for to go pick something up.
We always have to now.
Or, and there are some great hobby shops just up the highway, but I've got people who check stuff out for me too. People go up and race, and I message and say, any cool scale shit there? Not right now. Okay, I don't want any of that stuff. Or take a picture of the scale wall. I want to see what's there. So recently what I've been doing is I will hit up a few. There are local hobby shops, but I'll hit them up on Facebook and say, do you have these? Yes, I do.
Ship.
What's the price? In my house 2 days later.
Yeah.
And literally, so the one store, and I like to give her a shout out because she's been amazing to me and her shipping is nuts, is Heather at Extreme Hobby. Basically, I send her a message on Facebook no matter what time of day it is. If she's at the shop, she goes, yeah, one moment, yes, I have it, here's your price. This is the email address to send me the payment to, and I literally log in and go, email gone. 2 days later, my wife's like, more RC shit showed up, and I'm like, oh man, I have to get a P.O. box. It'll be way easier if I just get a P.O. box. I actually got a message the other day when the Night Custom showed up. She's like, what is in this box? I'm like, what does it say? She's like, because it came from the States, so of course it has the tag that actually said RC car parts, and she's like, yeah, we'll talk when you get home, and I'm like, come on, like,
Where's that box?
it's over there. But so the idea behind that is I do like to support the smaller businesses. Yes, I have ordered some stuff online from the States for hard to find parts that either people said, listen, they're out of stock at the manufacturer. If you can find it online, nab it.
Yeah.
But I don't do that very often, especially given the fact that right now is like a 30 to 35% conversion rate from Canadian dollar to US dollar.
Stupid.
So I try to get it from Canadian hobby shops, and I do not know how they're making any money. I don't understand.
No, but they're just happy to sell it to you. It's like literally, I looked online and you're only like 50 cents off of what it's online. Like, you figure they must buy in bulk or they're.
Yeah. Trying to get a shipping discount, so they're ordering everything known to man.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it up.
So I order online from local hobby shops. I guess that's a good way to say
I impulse buy when I go to sweet hobby shops.
Totally.
All right, so here's another question here. This bad boy here is from Stephen Brown from Campbellford, Ontario.
There you go.
Let's say, so would you consider, actually this is a good one because we all have SCXs. What would you consider to be the ultimate bomb-proof driveline to the SCX-10? List all the parts that you want if you had an unlimited budget. All right, so I'm going to start this one.
So the guys just wants us to build this driveline.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah. Right. So number one, I would definitely have a Vanquish
training case.
With
I would probably slap some Robinson racing gears in there.
I would either go like 4 words. There's GCM. There's Vanquish.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's Robinson Racing.
There's MIP.
And MIP.
Yeah, MIP for the MIP for your axle or for your driveline. You've got Vanquish transfer case, MIP internals. You might as well put a 32 pitch, gigantic, monstrous MIP spur gear on there as well. You're going to have to get last lockers from GCM.
Yep.
You're going to have to get maybe some Vanquish VVDs because they are tough as hell and they've got the best turning on them.
Yep, that's true.
And man,
I don't think there's much else you could do from there.
Well, if you're still running hexes, get a locking hex that will lock to the stub instead of the pin. Because the pin will snap.
Oh yeah.
And
clamping hex.
Yeah. What else is there? There's grab. If you want to grab I know RC4WD makes an actual locking system for. Oh, actually, Axial makes ones too. A locker for the slipper. So you actually eliminate the slipper completely.
Oh, I like that idea a lot.
What else is there?
I can't stand it.
You might want to get yourself, head over to, what the hell is the name of that company? Super Shafty. Get yourself some chromoly output shafts.
Don't they come with the GCM last locker? I think they had a stub shaft in the picture when I was checking it out because I've been looking at everything for my skeleton chassis. And I thought they had the stub outs.
You can actually get, I mean, if you wanted to do this, you can actually get full bomb-proof transmissions from Super Shafty.
Built.
And it'll have the Vanquish case. It'll have their bomb-proof motor plate, which was actually pretty neat.
Yep.
You can get it with the shafts, choose your length. You can get it, if I remember correctly, they put the hot racing gears inside, which I've heard a lot of great things about, but I really trust Robinson Racing Gears.
Well, that's it. And actually, technically, to put the VP training case and Robinson Racing Gears in it is not that it's not that far to reach for. It's not that expensive.
No,
the training case is around $40-50 bucks. I've seen it online a million times now. Yeah. Robinson Racing Gears for an additional $30. You got a bomb-proof chain.
One thing I really like about the using a VP case is that you can put screws into it and not just keep shredding them, and you put thread lock on it, so you're not wondering why your transmission's wiggling, and you look underneath it and you only got one screw and it's half left.
Yep.
So I've done.
And they're mint.
All of a sudden the thing starts spinning. You look and like, oh, my screws fell out of the trail.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Not so much. Dave, can you help me look for these screws, man?
Yeah.
Bring it back, dude.
All right, what time we got?
I don't know. 9:55.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's do one more question. So, yeah, I actually am selecting through questions right now because I'm trying to look for the drift question. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna
go fishing for it.
Well, yeah, because there we go. So I randomly found this one. Honestly, this question is useless with anybody else on the show. So Anthony Cairns asks, "What is and it's tiny, guys. What is the best drift car?"
Well, that's a really hard question because you got to determine what type of drifting you want to do.
You know what this reminds me of? You see Mallrats?
Yeah.
You know, if you were a superhero, what would you say? Whoa! You know,
it's
more
you've got to weigh
things out. I mean, do you think about like having like this, or mind power, or the ability to banter well with supervillains? Like, what are you doing?
It's what it all comes down to, because there's rear-wheel drive, there's counter-steer drifting, where your rear tires move faster than your front tires. Then there's 50-50 drifting, which is the most unscaled but the most easiest to drive. And then you have to figure out what everybody else in the group is doing, because you want to be able to drift with each other. And most all-wheel drive cars cannot drift with rear-wheel drive cars, and counter-steer cars will outdrive the 50-50 cars, so it gets out of hand fast. So you kind of got to
real quick
either play on your own. I would recommend to stick to 50-50 because then you can use the cars for multiple purposes, or just go rear-wheel drive if you're going to only do drifting, because it's probably the most scale aspect of drifting. Pumba and I drifted for years with all-wheel drive cars that could literally do 80-90K with rubber tires, then put T-drifts back on and slide around at really unscale speeds. Then we're really good at it too. We would come through drive-thrus at like 50K sideways right with each other. But then when we started to look at the rest of the world and their drifting, they were doing counter-steer drifting, which we hadn't heard of. So I tried it out. I had a Sakura for like a week, and
like
I can't
minutes.
stand it because you can never drive the car straight. So to me, it's almost undrivable, because a real life car can drive straight, you can learn how to kick it, you can learn how to do different things, as where counter steer's all based on throttle.
Right.
Rear wheel drive is all based on angle and speed. So it's the most realistic in the sense of any drifting. So you got to find out if you have a local group for it, or if you have to just do it on your own with your buddy. Because there's too many different variations of drifting to just hop in and think that everybody in the same room can have a car and drift on it.
It's kind of like racing, right? You could buy one truck and find out that nobody else at your track does that.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden you're all by yourself.
Spend all that money on Slash just to keep up.
But your Slash was good, though.
Yeah, it was. It still is.
So I guess in your opinion, so you like the rear-wheel drive drifting better?
Yes, that's what I was getting down to, is that we drifted like that for years, and then I tried to counter steer, but once I was handed a rear-wheel drive car, there was no other kind of drifting afterwards. So my buddy Paul had let me try his, and it's so much slower, but it's so much better. And it's actually more enjoyable to drive.
Fun.
It's more.
You drive the car. You don't just point and shoot.
Yeah,
and just
the car's
hopefully
not
go
already
sideways
sliding,
where you want
and you
to go.
just pin the throttle to make it turn more. It's all about driver skill and angle and speeds and stuff. There's more technicalities to rear-wheel drive, even though the cars are simpler.
And you can make it look a whole lot cooler.
Oh yeah, tandems with four guys and stuff. And you're not traveling 50K into a curve together. You're all doing like 10-15K sideways happily in a nice lot. Yeah, it's a lot better for taking videos of too.
That's true.
So what chassis do you think? So in a rear-wheel drive chassis, what would your best chassis be?
If money was no option, it would be this exact. I have an MST FXSDS. So this is a sport version, which mostly comes plastic, but they have an all carbon and aluminum version, which is the VIP. And to me, that is the best looking drift car chassis I've ever seen.
How much is that?
I think it's around $1,000.
Then you could also.
I think it's $799 technically.
I was saying, not that I don't have all that in my scale trucks behind me, but like, whoa.
But with rear-wheel drive drifting, I've never broken apart, other than the crappy steering bell crank that comes in this one. They call them wipers for whatever reason, so they're steering wipers in this, and they just were really, really soft. So we would get drifting for an hour and a half, and then I'd be steering away, but the wheels wouldn't be moving because the plastic was just melting all over the place. And finally, it snapped, so I upgraded that, but then I upgraded a lot of things that were unnecessary but really awesome.
Now, one thing I thought was really neat about this chassis is that your motor is in line.
My motor is in line appropriately as like a rear-wheel drive would be, and then it has a sensor drive. You'll never see. We'd have to do a rig review to see it properly.
Yeah, which now that you've said that, we're gonna.
You're gonna have to do that.
So, Pumba, what are your thoughts on the drift?
Man, our rear-wheel drive drifting for sure.
Hands down.
Yeah, seriously, honestly, I have the Sakura DX3. But with the rear-wheel drive
mod. A good way to explain it. When you're 16, you buy 50/50. When you're 30, you go rear-wheel drive. It's true. It's like two different, completely different. It's like grown-up drifting.
I've got the Sakura with the rear-wheel drive mod, and it drifts just as good as Dave's car does.
Absolutely.
And it's like a quarter of the price.
Yeah,
but Dave's like, mine's a Mustang.
Mine drifts equal to its very expensive counterpart.
Yeah,
Puma's car is worth $100. Mine's technically $200, and the guys that spent $1,000, they're doing the exact same thing that we are. So
and some of them still can't touch it.
Yeah, some of them still can't touch it. It's true.
So what speed motor would you have in there? What turn motor?
This is an Outlaw 21.5 from VTA Racing that I got secondhand. Most guys run 10.5. You don't need it. I got buddies that run brush systems in their cars that are completely equal on speed.
Yeah.
The best thing you could do for yourself in a group is all buy the same motor.
Yeah.
Because then you technically are all the same speed. Right now we're all having different times with figuring out our tandems because one car's lighter, one car's heavier, one car's overpowered, one car's not.
Or in case like my car weighs about as much as a brick, but it still goes slower than everybody else. Yeah. But it looks really good going slow. Yeah. But
different tires.
I can't get
rear wheel
out of the
drive is
car.
all about tires.
Yeah.
All about tires.
So how often do you have to replace the tires?
Not often, but it's actually the compound of the drift tire to make you do what you got to do on different surfaces, right?
Yeah. I only just started getting into tires.
Never
Pumba
really.
And I drifted with T-drifts.
Yeah. One tire does all of the stuff, and then when you get into
we would shoot 3-4 sets of summer.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole different ball game. Now it's like you got the red dots for this and the yellow dots for that.
And don't forget the gold dots.
I got gold in the front, red in the rear.
Yeah. It gets a little ridiculous.
And then there's narrows. You can't ever see it, but my front wheels are like super narrow. So if you were to cut off an entire ring in your rim, these ones are super narrow, so you can get insane. You see it here, maybe 90-degree steering angles for when you're getting sideways. So you can make some really deep corners or big heavy swoopers. But that's a whole other ballgame with rear-wheel drifting. It's all about steering angle as well. So you want as much as physically possible.
Yeah, I've actually got past 90 degrees of steering, so my wheels actually will hook around a corner.
Interestingly enough, when I originally started to see that stuff, I thought, this is ridiculous because a car can't do that.
Yeah, they do actually.
And then I looked online and looked at a bunch of drifting videos, and there were BMWs that I saw where you had more than 90-degree steering angle, and I just went,
I know. I honestly didn't believe in it either because Pumba and I always thought rear-wheel drifting was really stupid. Because it's like, what are you going to do, circles, But when you get into it, mind you, gyros is another thing too.
The gyro is the actual, that's what saves your ass, to be honest with you.
Jeff DeSico's doing it without one. He drifts with us all the time.
Those are people that have nothing but time on their hands that can master things. Because it's an art, though.
It is.
To be able to drive a rear-wheel drive drift car without a gyro,
and do it well. No,
if you can do it well and make it look like you got a gyro in it, I'm going to shake your hand.
I seen that Keddy just picked up a gyro with adjustable gain through the remote. So he can turn his gyro up or down without ever having to take the body off. Yep.
Done. Perfect.
For anybody
he does this, and he's like, I don't shake your hand.
For anybody that thinks that AVC will work as a drift supplement for a gyro, it is completely 110% untrue. Yep. They do not work in a drift scenario. They work well in a bashing scenario.
Yeah, like sliding the rally cars.
Yeah. The rally cars, they come in the Losi Mini 8s. I tried it in that when Brett had it, and it was phenomenal to drive. It responds very well. But Ketty tried it in a rear-wheel drive drift car, and it didn't do what he wanted it to. It kept trying to keep the car too straight.
It did.
Yeah. As where ours, the gyro, you can adjust the gain right now, so when you have it out, it wants to stay out. It's happy to be out there. As where the ABC wants to always bring it back.
Yeah, the gyro, when you turn the gain down, you can get the ass to sit way out and keep it around the corner. And then you find once you play with it more, you can bring it where you feel.
And gyros are really neat. Like when you turn your car
you can actually have that car go around the corner completely locked.
My wheels are completely facing out from each other. Sometimes people go even more to get more steering out of it. So now you put your car down and things are all cockeyed or whatever. Now you're adjusting it with the gain to bring it back to center to create the roll between your. It's really neat how they're set up. I'm not very good at it, so I just go to Ketty and he goes,
"Oh, yeah." And Ketty does have to be measured in every video.
What can you say? He's there, you know. And he did an amazing wiring job on my car, and he knows. Yeah, like I was at Galaxy having a hard time getting around. He looked at it. Before you know it, I was sliding around with everybody else.
He's just a plethora of information.
That
guy. That's all he is.
And then he'll fly above you and record what you're doing while you're doing it.
Yeah,
because he knows all that too.
Cooler.
Yeah.
For anybody in the Niagara region, the TNT Niagara TNT car show is coming up this summer. There's going to be a track there. Anybody in the area wants to come check it out should absolutely come down. It's at Fireman's Park here in Niagara Falls. The guys from 905 Rides and Thomas Wilga are hooking that up.
I haven't heard 905 Rides in a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of just in his background thing now. But no, he's a really nice guy. He's putting on that show, so we'll be down there drifting this summer if anyone wants to come check it out.
It's good that we can still get some car shows in the area because Scrape by the Lake was here for years.
It was so cool.
And then they outgrew the area and then moved it Downsview Park.
Yeah.
And that was a homegrown thing. Like,
it was. It was all
your
your local buddies. You could go there and see their cars and stuff.
Yeah, the same cars you see every day.
Every day.
The idea was y'all got to bring it out. Yeah, but clean.
That's it.
And then you bounce them, right? Like, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And then of course there is the Bosma event that happens every year for the off-road stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that started to happen now, which I mean you can find a parking lot anywhere to drop a four-wheel drive on.
Absolutely.
But the problem was parking lots in the area to drop a low custom car on was becoming few and far between because everything is so fucking
I
hammered
remember
here.
taking my oldest to a Scrape by the Lake too, and that was good times. He was just a little baby back then.
It got stupid when they were trying to park them in a gravel parking lot.
Oh yeah,
and everyone's like,
you actually had to walk down parts in the bush to get to the other part to get more vehicles.
And then in the jumping zone, the whole area was on a tilt, so the cars were jumping down a hill. And wow,
it was fun.
Well, it was fun when that one truck jumped and just landed on the side. Yeah, that was fun. But or when you watch the hydro start jumping, and all of a sudden the trunk sets on fire because they were just running way too much power and a hydro cylinder blew. Boom. Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, hey, that was a lot of money. And the guys are like, how are we gonna get home? And
Chrome.
Yeah, all the crazy custom airbrush paint. And you feel bad, but then you go look at the other cars.
You can move on while he borrows.
Someone's pushing his car out of the way. So you know what? Let's call it a day for that. We got some good questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a few questions in, which means there's still a ton of questions in here. But guys, remember, send your own questions in, benchquestions@gmail.com. And you know what? Let's do this. If you've got someone specific you want to hear from as well, I'm not going to guarantee that it will show up in that show, but I will do my best. So if you think you want to hear more about the drift from Pumba and Dave, make sure you put, hey, can we get this on a show with Pumba and Dave? And again, guys, let me know if you want a shout out for your local group, your local club, your local track, your Facebook channel, or your Facebook page, or your YouTube channel. It's all about support here at thescale.freak.com.
That's right, the community.
Yeah, really, that's what it is. And I mean, you will see more stuff. I'll make a commitment. We will see some more stuff for drifting this summer. Concern is that you guys drift right when I'm going to bed
at 9 p.m. We're all like, yeah, drift time. Kids are in bed. Joe's like,
I can't really hack on Joe too much because I have a new job and I work 10-hour days and I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I go to bed at 10.
Flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
So 10 p.m. I am. You know what? Like at 9:59, I'm all like, oh yeah. 10:02.
Yeah.
Gone. But then 5 a.m.
4:40 in the morning comes. It gets pretty quick.
Yeah, but the good thing is I'm a morning person, so literally I can be like, okay, let's go, come on, and all my friends are like, I'm gonna fucking hit you with a hammer. Stop moving.
I work in a shop where if you plug an air line into your air ratchet or air gun before 6:30, you get a shot in the face. That's not happening. Everybody's got to have their coffee, start a work order. Shut up. You do not say
everybody gets the
nobody.
coffee down and all right.
Yeah,
so what
we're all really good friends, but in the morning everybody just gets the.
I know we get
that's
there.
it. There is no
word. Roll the racks out. Wait for the first car to roll in, and then we'll start talking to the first car.
Today's Saturday. Well, it is Saturday today. You'll see this video on a not Saturday. I walk into my tech shop today. My store doesn't even open until 9 a.m. I'm there by 7. The only people who are there that early in the morning are a couple technicians that have keys for the building. They're not there to work. They're just there to eat their breakfast, have a coffee, and kind of stare at the floor for a bit. And I walk in the morning and go, "Hey guys, what's up?" And all you hear is, like I'm messing up their mojo by interrupting their sandwich.
There's that hyper
energetic guy. Oh yeah, and I'll be like, "Hey guys," and I did have to get a car on the hoist. I just bought a car, which you guys will see in a while. I got myself a '91 Civic that I'm going to eventually convert into a street legal road course race car.
Ooh.
Yeah, this car's
that
big.
sounds fun.
So, and for like 3 weeks, I've been trying to get this car on the hoist to find out whether or not underneath was rotten. Because I was like, man, the deal was too good. There's got to be cancer on this car.
Yeah.
I've got to find it out. And so I went in this morning. I'm like, guys, you're not doing anything. Can we get the car up on the hoist? And they're like, did you notice the not doing anything part? Keep walking, sales guy. I was like, come on. So I brought it in later in the day, and they're like, we're not going to touch it because you interrupted us in the morning. Just pull it on the hoist and fucking do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how to do this. So I got it up. They all looked underneath, and they all went,
I can't believe
wow, they're like, not a drip, not a drop, not a leak. It's like, all this is so brand new, the stickers haven't even melted off of it yet.
Nice.
That's like,
that's cool. How many K on?
70,000.
Grandma's car.
On a 25-year-old car. It's got
awesome.
70,000 kilometers. For all of you miles people out there, that's 43,000 miles. 43,434, I think it was, or something
That's
like
a lot
that.
of force.
Look at you, yeah.
Somebody else asked me the other day, and they're like, what does that mean in miles? And I was like, ugh.
I always just pull out my phone, I hit the button and
do the conversion.
Google, please tell me this.
I love Siri. So, guys, let's wrap it. Lots of questions.
Hold on. I need to give a shout out to Mark at work because I told him I would. Just cause.
Hi, Mark at work.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark at work.
Hi, buddy.
You got anybody?
Hi. I don't have anybody to say hi to. Hi to anybody who knows who I am and sees me on YouTube. I'm on TV, bitch! That's it.
YouTube. Well, actually, a lot of people do send me pictures that they're watching it on a giant TV. So
I
guess
see that all the time.
You're on somebody's TV.
Exactly.
So, also, guys, one more shout out. If you do make it to the end of this, thank you very much for Heath for Cow RC because you keep throwing all these cool contests our way. Go look at the Scale Freak page right now. It's a pinned post.
Please pick me.
Yeah.
I want to win some cow stuff.
It's going to be open till, I believe I put 8 p.m. on March 7th, which will be, I believe it's next Saturday. All you have to do is make sure that you like the Cow RC Facebook page and just post a picture of whatever RC you're going to be working on top of the mat, and you're in. And then at 8 p.m. I'll take a look at the list and see who's there, and then I'll just do a random number generator, and then the stuff gets shipped out directly from Heath. And man, it's fast. So
it's awesome.
It's good stuff. I mean, you can see I got my
everybody was
here and all my shit in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It was funny, and I kind of feel bad because I told them I was going to do a video on this right away, and I still am. I still am.
One day.
This badass thing right here, man.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the blaster.
It's an air blast.
You never seen this thing?
No.
Watch this thing. Leave your hand on.
All right.
Okay.
Should I hold on to my glasses?
Actually, your glasses probably will come on.
All right.
Let's use
Is that good?
this nozzle.
Do Dave.
Let's use this.
Do Dave. It sounds dangerous. Do Dave.
Put this
Blow me in the face, guys. Do I need to remove my hat? Would you like to see my eyes? Holy jeez.
All right, who am I getting?
All right, blast me. He's afraid of breaking himself. It tastes like I felt like I was the dog in the wind there for a minute.
Holy.
We used to use these things on the on-road stuff. There was only a few people that actually had them. They're basically made by a vacuum company, but they're
It's an opposite vacuum.
stupid hard to find, and they were perfect for blowing stuff off
Wow.
because you don't have to have a compressor.
Screw a compressor.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I mean,
let me
look,
see
it
that.
comes
Do
with,
they have attachments to make it like a compressor? Oh, sweet.
there's a bunch of different stuff on here.
I like the teeny one here, the teeny tip.
Oh.
Does it force it all down more, make it a more potent blast?
Wife, if you watch this, I want one.
And if you catch him in his hobby shop for too long with it, you might want to open the door.
Yeah, totally. Babe, I want 2.
I want 2. What's this one, dude?
I don't know.
It's more like a fan blade.
Yeah.
But these were great.
Wicked.
Does this one make it better?
That one makes it really blow really hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So these are pretty. Oh, that's why I'm holding it like this to get a picture.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, guys, thanks to Cal for not only bringing stuff like this to us, which is pretty neat. He's actually got pit lights now too.
Sweet.
The yacht lights.
Nice.
So
I got an outlet at home. Wicked.
Go check out the contest. I'm right here. Go check out the contest. It's on the pin post. I'm just like I realized, like, hey, you like my jump? Because it's right there. In your face. Anytime. So go check. Oh dear.
You did that. You went there.
Yeah, I did go there. I may go there again later, actually. So.
How many times did toy nuts bother me cleaning my room? Sorry.
Oh, that's an old movie.
Oh, yeah.
That is an old movie.
That was good, though.
All right, so, okay, we are actually done. You did your shout-out. You have nobody. My shout-out's to Cal for releasing some cool shit and giving us all that contest stuff. Go join the contest. And, of course, you know what? Always make sure, guys, that you click on subscribe. I'm hoping to hit 10,000 subscribers this year. When I checked today, I'm up to like 9,000. Almost 9,200.
Do you remember when you were trying to do like 1,000 subscriptions?
Remember when I was trying to do 100?
Yeah.
500.
Wow.
Yeah, and then every time it goes, and I don't, you know what? I think maybe when I hit.
Yeah, Joe, you get a high five.
High five on subscribers.
Listen, I'll tell you what. When we do 10,000 subscribers, I am going to give something away. I don't know what it is.
Fireworks.
I can't ship them internationally.
Oh yeah.
But I'll figure something out.
A voucher to buy them at your local place.
Yeah, exactly. I'll figure something out, and I'm sure
fireworks.
I'm gonna figure something out when we hit the 10, because a lot of people do like big giveaways and stuff like that. But that is an enormous milestone for me. It's something I never expected to hit, and I don't know what it's gonna be. I'd like to make it something of substance, but it'll be this year, and we'll see what we can do. I'll see if I can get some people involved and get some kind of neat prize package set up. My guess is it won't be based on like who my YouTube subscribers are, because that would be the most difficult thing in the world to do. It would have to be something like go to this website and submit your name here so I can actually get the information.
On a direct list,
And then it would just be easier to do from there. So I'll figure something out. I mean, I've got some time, obviously. I've got about 800 subscribers worth of time to figure that shit out. And then we'll go from there.
This free copy took a hike. That's
good.
Awesome. Carmen got you. Not sharing with me.
No.
Oh, your free copy. So, damn you, Joe. In the meantime, click on the like button, because basically if you want the education as to what the like button does, it tells me that you like it. But it also helps to put it over on the feed so people who've never seen me before, it can start to show up there. So it helps spread the love. Of course, I only post this on a few different places, mostly RC Militia, good group over there, on Facebook, as well as, of course, the Scale Freak Facebook page. So if you have a group that you think would really enjoy this, please share it. Please. It helps a lot to get it out there. That usually brings in a lot of stuff. Of course, commenting below. I love the conversations that are happening down there. You know,
it's always nice feedback to see that someone enjoyed watching the show.
Yeah, that really is it. Yeah, too. Yeah. And I mean, I know Steve gets in the comments sometimes. I know that Antler gets in the comments sometimes. I have no idea what these guys are up to.
I read them. I appreciate them. I don't reply to them because I'm usually busy changing a diaper. Or
I do check through them. I do definitely check through them. I can't say I always reply. Once in a blue moon, if it's something pertaining to a direct question, I'll answer back.
Yeah.
I do always check them out.
Cool. And then of course subscribe to the channel, because I want to get closer to giving something away. Still don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be something.
That's it.
I think you should give us something.
High five.
Yeah.
Or high five.
Free high five.
So anyway, guys, everybody likes Paul Frick. All right, guys, that is actually it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for coming to hang out. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your questions.
That's it.
I don't know where the bucket went. But you guys have an excellent evening, and thanks for checking. Thanks, Steve. Steve is here. Hey, Steve.
Thanks,
Say hi, Steve.
Hey.
Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Okay, you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Big thumbs up. Steve, get your thumbs up in here. Nice try. Keep going. Keep going. Come on, lead in.